Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
To this day, it is still difficult to admit that I am an iPhone user. Oh, Chris, why is it difficult to admit that you're an iPhone user? I thought you liked the iPhone. Well, random user, I do like the iPhone. But if you remember correctly, the first day the iPhone was released, I poo-pooed it. I said, why would I want the iPhone? And you know why I did? Because quite honestly, every new phone that came out to that point sucked. I spent $700 on a smartphone that ran the Microsoft Pocket PC operating system. Way back when. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. But I loved it. Because you know what? There was nothing else better on the market. My expectations were so low that I expected catastrophe. Well, begrudgingly so. I recognized the moment that my now ex-wife handed me her iPhone, which I wasn't too happy about. Like, iPhone, you should have waited. iPhone, wait for 3G, blah, blah, blah. Because back then it was just Edge. The first iPhone was not 3G. You remember that? Yeah. I used it. The Blackjack is what I was using, Matt. But that wasn't the one I spent $700 on. That was an earlier thing on Verizon's network. I opened right away the weather app. I remember this is the first iPhone. Been out maybe a week or two. I tapped the weather icon and I swiped. That's all I did. I went like this, swipe. And the screen was so responsive and the UI was just so remarkably breathtaking. Did I just can I say that? Can I get away with putting those two words together? I'm going to do it anyway. It was awesome. I was like, oh, right away I knew, great, I'm in trouble. I continue to eat crow over the statements I made that are still on YouTube. You can dig up that video right now. The reasons, I think, was it the 20 reasons I am not going to get an iPhone, or that I don't want an iPhone on the first day. I can't remember how I phrased it. I think I left myself a few outs. Either way, my choice today for a smartphone is the latest iPhone. If only because I know that, at least to my knowledge, every year I'll get a new iPhone. And I've purchased apps on older iPhones that I can still access on my newer iPhones. So I've got some investment, in the programs which I've bought for this particular platform. But I think most importantly, it's served my needs. It works. And you could say, oh, Chris, but you could jailbreak. I don't know if you really sound this way. I'm making that up. You could jailbreak the iPhone and you can do more with it. You know how many times I've heard people have problems because they're jailbroken? I don't want problems with this device. I want to minimize the problems, okay? I want something that I can count on. That works. And for some time, back in the day when Apple first started letting apps out there, or enabled apps specifically on iOS, or it wasn't called that at the time, there were problems. There were a lot of problems, and a lot of people are upset. But unfortunately, at that point, I had no alternative. Android really wasn't there. It's still to this day getting there. It's maturing at a pretty decent clip, but despite the features that I've seen in other phones, I know that it's not just about the specs. It's not just about the features. It's about how well it works. How seamless is the experience? How does it work? I mean, how does it work in general? Not just like functionally speaking. Oh, it boots up, it works. How does it work? And to this point, Apple has done a fair job. Could have done better earlier. What company couldn't have? But certainly, that has not made me feel like I should have switched away from using the iPhone as my choice for a smartphone. And that has only, been strengthened more with each revision. I had the iPhone 3G, the 3GS, and now this here, at the time of this recording, is the 4. I will likely have the 5th edition, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. I don't really feel pain. And that's really, I think, what it takes to switch. You have to feel pain in whatever you're using today. The computer I'm using now, it's horrible. I feel pain. I need to change something. I have no momentum. No reason whatsoever to switch. Well, you can do this on the other phone. If it's valuable enough for me, maybe I'll look at it. But you know what? I was fine. Things were working well enough. And I knew I could count on Apple to deliver a good experience. When was the last time you heard of the latest, best Android smartphone? Last week. And you know what? You heard about the latest, awesome, best Android smartphone the week before that. And 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 the week before that. They're commodities, dude. Yeah, I don't know what I'm buying into there yet. I had huge hopes that Google would control the hardware and the software. They're not going to do that. And I think with the smartphone, you need that. Nokia had a strong thing in Symbian. Just never took off. At least here in the States. Wasn't very popular. Well, an Apple sweeps in and then forget about it. Nokia's got some promise now in conjunction with Microsoft. I think Windows Phone 7 stands a chance. I think it's going to see heavier competition with Google Android, or even the Palm or now WebOS phones that we're likely to see at some point in the near future. The iPhone kind of stands alone, and then everybody else seems to be wrestling with each other, taking away market share from each other. The iPhone, this thing that Apple has got an incredibly strong brand because it delivers an experience. And you know what? I am addicted to apps. I pointed this out in an earlier video that we recorded tonight. How many did I have on the iPad? How many apps? Like 300 and something like that on the iPad. On the iPhone, let's see here. Takes a while to load because I've got a lot of apps. I have 788 applications installed. 788, and I have them organized into folders, and if I can browse through them. And they're great applications. I can control just about everything I want to control from here. There's an app for that, and that's what I love. There's an app for that. And for the argument that so many people made, I use Windows because there's so many more programs for Windows than there are for the Mac. At one point in time, that was true. It's about 10 years ago, but at one point that was true. Now, there are many apps that are available on iOS as well as Android, as well as any other platforms that are being bandied about within the smartphone marketplace. But you can pretty much count on an app being available for the iPhone, so long as the API, will afford it. Apple lets you do it. And I like that. I like that safety and security of knowing that Apple is going to keep me protected so that I can go to the App Store and download with reckless abandon and not have to worry about being rooted like so many people have with Android. And it's been seen over and over and over again. In fact, there was an exploit. I don't know if you guys caught this. People who had installed an illegal binary for an illegal app, or I guess it was legal, but they acquired it illegally and installed it on their Android device. It shamed them by posting to their Twitter account saying, I downloaded this app illegally, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, you get full control, but I'm telling you what, people like my parents don't want that. And there are a lot more people like my parents than there are you and me, assuming you're a geek who's watching this, because I can't imagine anybody else who's uninterested in the world of technology watching this video on what smartphone does Chris Perillo use and why. At this point in time, it serves me well. I don't feel pain like I felt with Windows Mobile And even then, it worked well enough, and I stuck with it until something better came along. So, there's a challenge to the industry. Let something better come along, but you gotta know, when someone says something's better, it's relative. What works for me may not work for you. And quite honestly, while I care about you, I don't give two shakes of a lamb's... Wait, that's the wrong metaphor to use. I don't give a rip what smartphone you use if it works for you. If you like it, you have a chance. You can appreciate the devices that you carry around with you. I almost said two shakes of a lamb's tail, but that's really saying that I'll be there quickly. That would not have played well, I think. Either way, that's the smartphone of my choice and the reasons why. You don't have to agree with me, because honestly, I don't care. Until you buy my devices, I don't care what you think about my choices. Okay? I don't care. Android's better. Windows Phone 7, it's better. iPhone this. I don't care. It's not your money. It's my money. I'm going to spend it however I want to spend it. And until you start paying my bills, STFU. Great. Now I got to buy a new iPhone because I broke the back. My email address, chris@perillo.com. In case you care to go off on me for going emo on you. Hey, Pixie. Pixie? She's so cute. I had her, her ears are kind of, her hair's, my dog, her hair's kind of long, so I flipped her hair over one of her eyes, and she was like emo for a second. It was really funny. She cried. I think she's cutting herself now. I don't know. Chris.perillo.com is my blog. @ChrisPerillo on Twitter in case you care to go off on me there. Facebook.com/Chris Perillo. We have LockerGnome.com, LockerGnome.net for reviews, news, and how-tos. And of course, we also have this chat room. Geeking out! 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when I'm not sitting here making funny noises with my desk that I have to apologize for. I probably need to situate the mic better. I am not bipolar. I've never even been to a poll. For Christ's sake. You're welcome to join us. That was the word welcome that came out. Welcome. I don't know why. It's because I have unboxing juice behind the laptop. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.perillo.com. We'll see you later.